Okay, sorry. Hey, y'all, welcome to HUR at Home Ladies Night Edition. I am Nina Brown, and I am sitting in for our fabulous host, Angela Stribling, who is out celebrating her birthday today. So happy birthday to Angela. And I don't know why they penned me to have such an important job tonight, but here I am. So without further ado, let me bring on the girls who make it happen with us every Wednesday night. First up is my girl, Autumn Joy. Hey, Autumn.
Look at you in the driver's seat. I love this.
Girl, about to crash the car. And of course, without further ado, let's bring on our girl, Kokalani. What's up, Kokalani?
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
I like those.
Hey, thanks. I was saying earlier, me and Nina, we got like the same like little style going on a little bit, but yeah. I like the bunny ears too.
Yeah, but no, bunny ears. Bunny
Are those bunny ears?
First of all, how disrespectful.
What are they? They're not bunny ears?
It's Mickey Mouse, little Minnie Mouse ears.
Oh, mouse ears. Okay.
Mouse ears. And first of all, a big happy birthday to Zay, Autumn Joy's son. Just turned a big digit.
Yeah.
And y'all were down at Disney. Tell us about your trip, Autumn.
Well, I just have to let you all know that was my first time ever going to Disney. So I finally fulfilled a lifelong dream. And, there was 5 of us growing up. So we always heard it's never going to happen. It's too expensive. So I just, kind of pushed it off. But I did promise my son, I waited until he could remember it. I don't believe in taking kids places when they're newborn too. They don't remember, but 10, he'll have very vivid memories. And it was so cool. A lot of people enjoyed the fact that the co-parenting was there. So Rich went as well as Xavier's dad and Ed went. And yeah, it was a good time. We all had a really good time. We were we were literally way more excited than Xavier was. It was all of our.
I know. Can I tell you? So I didn't know when I was on your Instagram, being a total lurker because I'm obsessed with you and Rich. And I was like, okay, who's this really tall dude in the picture? So I clicked on his page. And when I realized that was Zay's dad, my heart was so full because let me tell you, as a person who co-parents, that is the optimal situation, right? And I believe in raising healthy children and giving them a childhood they don't have to heal from. And when I saw that, and then I went to his page and I was like, he's got pictures of you and Rich. And I'm like, okay, Zay is going to have the best life ever on the strength of his parents got it together. Even though y'all are not together, y'all are co-parenting. Rich, he's got 2 great male figures in his life. I absolutely love it. And I commend y'all for doing such a great job.
Yeah. And it was honestly, I didn't really know what to expect. I mean, Ed is such a great dad, so I knew that it was going to be a cool experience, like you said, for Xavier. But I think one of the coolest moments was when Xavier went to take a picture with his dad. He kind of looked over at Rich and was like, and put his arm around Rich too. So it was such a cool little moment, for him to be there with everyone and just kind of just see everyone getting along and just, for his sake.
Happy 10th birthday, Zay! To let y'all know, Kokalani was asking me about palm trees in the back, and I'm like, what palm trees? So I'm actually in a hotel tonight. So if I sound a little echoey, I'm at the MGM Grand at National Harbor.
Oh, okay.
I know we're doing big things over here. Frankie and I are yes.
I'm sorry. How long have you been in town? And why?
So she's doing a state. I know. I was like, wait a minute, MGM. I thought she was gonna say Vegas. She was like, and here in National Harbor. I was like, wait a minute, what? Okay, go ahead.
Listen, I had to make sure you was gonna be on tonight, Autumn, before I told you. No, we just got in tonight. We're actually hosting the 2021 By Black conference presented by NABOB, the National Association
of
Black-owned Broadcasters. So we are hosting the programmers panel tomorrow, and then the luncheon, the awards luncheon on Friday. So super big deal. Yeah, we got requested. We were requested to be here to host. So we're super excited. Yeah. Representing WHUR, of course.
I'm mad that we're just finding out that you didn't even.
It was a secret?
Right. Like, really, Nina Brown?
No. So the truth of the matter is like, I wasn't the one planning it. So Frank, it's Frank. But anyways, we'll text offline. I'm here until Friday. So I got you, girl. But let's talk. Let's talk. And shout out to some of the people who are tapping in with us. Roger, James, Mark, Grant, Isabella, Grace. We see y'all. Good evening, everybody. First of all, I got to ask my girls about the Tamar situation. She went on social media and she did this whole post about like, she doesn't believe in splitting no bills with no dude. She said, I would rather pay for it completely, or the dude can pay for it completely. And she's like, maybe I'm old school, but I'm not splitting no bills with no man if I go out to dinner. So what do y'all think about that?
Okay, well, you said dinner. I thought you meant just overall in like life, because that's where I was going to say, I don't believe in like splitting everything down the middle, but I am a huge fan of helping out when you can, especially if you know your man, if you make more than your man, or if you know he's going through a rough patch. That's what a partnership is about. Now, as far as like the dinner situation, again, I guess it just depends, because I'm cool. When we were in Florida, we went to the Rainforest Cafe. I paid for us to eat, so I don't really think too deeply into it, especially if it's my man and someone that I'm with and plan on being with. I mean, that whole notion of I'm not doing da-da-da-da-da, I mean, I guess for some people that's cool, but for me personally, if that's my man, I don't mind. I don't mind splurging on my boo. That's what we do.
What you think, Coca?
Well, I think, we got to think of the capacity. Is this your husband? Is this your boyfriend? Because, it's okay to do for your man. If you want to do for his birthday, you're just doing something nice. But if it's intentional, hey, we go out, whenever we go out, I buy the popcorn, you get the tickets, I pay for parking. I'm not, usually, especially if you're in high school and you're like in college and everybody's on the budget, but I always see a man as a provider. So I'm thinking most men, especially even if you try to pull out your wallet, they're like, no, none of that right here. You're not pulling out your wallet here. I got that, and I'm also, I'm going to take it back to church a little bit. My bishop said before, it's nothing wrong with a woman doing for a man. But if you are a queen and you are in a kingdom, the king is never going to let you outdo him. So if you do anything for your king, he's going to be like, nah, I got that, So I'm thinking, a man will provide. If I want to do something, that's fine, but I don't think it should be expected. And I think, if you're with a man who can provide, I'm not saying no, but I'm not coming out, that's just me thinking.
Yeah, and so what I've realized is because I used to have this mentality like, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. I'm right. A lot of stipulations, but as I'm trying to grow, through life, right, and learn from like my mistakes, the one thing that I'm now realizing is that if I like really like someone and then it's different, right? Because then it's like, I don't mind contributing and I don't mind creating a partnership, but it made me realize like in past relationships when I was absolutely like, I'm not doing this and he's going to have to do this. And I had all these prerequisites and these stipulations. It really made me think that like, I didn't trust him completely. And when I trust a situation or I trust a man, then I give like my all. And I don't mind contributing. I don't mind. Contributing. I don't want it to be like so meticulous. Like,
I don't like that.
This and you're going to pay for that. Like, just go with the flow. You know what I mean? Like, and I mean, on a first date, then my expectation absolutely is that he's going to pay for the first date. And then from the, like, and it really depends on the connection, because I don't really feel like it even matters like how long you've known someone. If the connection is the connection, then I just feel like it should flow. It should be like ebb and flow. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was going to say, I'm also, so one of my love languages is gifts. And and of course I love to receive, but I also love to give, because the gratification of seeing how excited that person is to get stuff. And you also have to think the average man is not used to women doing for them.
No.
I get gratification. And even when I was dating, I get gratification of, I have to go to the bathroom. Then I go to the waitress like, hey girl, I'm going to take care of the tab. You know what I mean? And then when he comes back looking for the ticket, it's like, oh snap, you paid for it. Like, I enjoyed my time with you. And I don't look at it like, I need something in return. I just look at it as like, you know what? This is my thank you to you for, showing me a good time and being a gentleman. And that's
I would do that for my girlfriends. If we were out, you know what I mean? Like, that's my thing. Like, I'm like that with my girlfriend. So when Frank and I talked about it, like today on the radio, like, I have a very small circle. I don't rub show. I don't like just frolic with a lot of people. So when I'm out with you and I'm spending time with the little time that I have, like, you're a day one of mine, and I will get, like, I would do for you, because I'm like, no, this time is valuable as well. Like, if we went out to dinner, if I went out to dinner with either of you, like, I wouldn't mind picking up the bill.
Yeah, that's fine. I think that's cool. I think that's cool, Nina. Like you said, with girlfriends doing that. But I think what Tamar was talking about was with a man and just doing. Well, I think that the different dynamics. But I'm like you, Autumn. I'm a gift giver. But what I noticed in the past is that some men aren't accustomed to receiving, and that's sort of like a masculine energy sometimes when you're doing all that stuff. So just, I agree. Do it if you feel natural, but I don't believe in being rigid and saying stuff. But if somebody's like expecting it and like, well, what about you? You got this? You'd be like, wait a minute.
And there's a price point. If it's over $100, I let them take care of it. But if it's like $50, I'm like, boo, I got you. Big mama got you. Yeah.
Girl, why? I'm the same way. I'm like, you know what? Let me take care of this. Girl, let me tell you something. I mean, but I'm getting to the point in life, that I'm like, my mentality is shifting, and I'm fortunate to have girlfriends. Like, when I went to Belize for my birthday, my best friend paid for everything: the flights, the hotels, the tab, the Uber, the cab. Like, she's like, this is your birthday trip. And that's just how we roll. So when you have friends like that, like, it makes me always want to look for ways. And her love language is gift giving too, Autumn. Mm-hmm. So, and mine isn't. My love language that's the least. Actually, I get anxiety from like buying gifts, because I'm like, I overthink it, and I'm like, what is Kokalani gonna like? What is Autumn Joy gonna like? What if she doesn't like it? And then I usually end up spending too much, and then it's like such a stressful process. Just to see that smile on your face. Mm-hmm. I would rather do small things leading up to that, so you feel loved all throughout the year, than like having to stress out on one particular day. But my love language is also words of affirmation. So you telling me, like, you're beautiful, I love you, I appreciate you,
I love you, girl.
Yes, girl. Then like, my tank is overflowing. So, in quality time, like, you just want to come to my hotel room to hang out. I'm like, God, I feel loved. You know what I mean? Like, it's the simple things.
Yeah, if I was invited, I probably would have come over.
If you knew she was in town, right?
If we knew me and Kokalani might have pulled up, we could have had ladies' night in the hotel room right there.
Right. You know what?
We're going to be at Stan's tomorrow at 8:00. Stan's in DC.
Man, don't give us that fan talk.
Late.
We're signing autographs at Stan's.
From 12 to 3.
No, it's going to be lit. The drinks are going to be like on. Come on, come through. And that's for anyone watching. If you guys are in the DMV, Frank Ski and I, hopefully Autumn Joy, hopefully Kokalani, a bunch of the WHUR family members will be there. And I'd love to meet any of our listeners. Like, come on. Drinks on me. Well, not all of them.
I'm going, Kokalani. I'm in there.
I got you too. I got y'all both. So, okay. So what else is popping? What else is tea? Autumn Joy, what were you telling me about with Meek Mill?
Oh, so this is a pretty hot topic on social media right now. So I don't know if you all have had a chance. Kokalani's like, oh my God. If you've had a chance to see the Meek Mill's album cover for his new album called Expensive Pain. Well, of course, I'm gonna just hold it up. It's all. Wait a minute. Can y'all see that? Oh wait, is my glare? Okay. Oh wait. Okay. Okay. So that right there is what You see that, the little pink part, and then the lady back there. So that's his album cover.
Okay.
Of course, everyone's like, oh, it was done by a Black woman. It's an artist named Nina Chanel Abney, who is a Black abstract artist, and her work is very abstract, as you saw. But the issue is that it's depicting Black women in such a stereotypical negative light. If you wanted to, and his explanation was like, oh, the album cover, perfectly describes what I've been going through and how I'm feeling right now, and da 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 da. And it's like, bruh, there were so many other ways that you could have shown Black women, but what made it even added the insult to injury is that there's dozens of buses around the country that are wrapped with that album cover. And it's with the women bent over like what you just saw. And there's a video circulating around of a Caucasian man, a dad, going off Oh, about the album cover. I believe he was in the middle of like Hollywood Hills or someplace super busy. And he's like, Black women, is this okay? Is this how you want to be seen and represented? So yeah, so I think, that was a huge deal. Meek hasn't really come out and said anything about it outside of, that's just how he felt making the album. But as a Black woman, I do feel disrespected. I feel like he could have very well done something to depict Black women in a more positive light. If you wanted to show that, put like a heart or a flower or something else to cover that up. Because clearly what you're trying to show is a woman's nether region, and a Black woman at that, I just think it's disrespectful.
And I'm disappointed in Meek Mill, to be honest. Like, when he was, in all that legal trouble for like the violation of like probation and parole, and we like held him down and rallied with him and signed the protests and supported the documentaries, I really hoped, you know what I mean, that like he would lead by example.
Yeah.
Because like life could have been totally different for him, and like him being in the system and him understanding like, how, that it's not really, made for us. Like, I just really hope that he would be an advocate for Black women, Black men. And it's just disappointing to see stuff like this, because that is offensive. And it's just disappointing. What do you think, Coca?
Well, I'm a little partial. I used to be in Philly for a while, and I remember when Meek was a little kid, he used to come up to the radio station with his little crazy braids, and he was just coming on our open mic on Friday night. So I've seen him grow. I did a panel with him a couple years back for the probation, when they were trying to change the probation and the parole system, across the country, because it is systematically flawed. But what I saw this and over the last 3 days, the sad thing about it is the album is really good. But everybody's talking about the cover right now. People who are into the music, they're like, this is one of his best albums. However, one thing, that I think everyone should pay attention to is that you had record company executives who approved that. And those record company executives that approved that at the top chain don't look like us. Okay. Right. So not saying that that's wrong or right, but I'm just saying that there were places where it could have been stopped along the way, and even though he's the artist, they can approve and say, no, no, no. So I think they knew what they were doing. The upper hand knew what they were doing and causing the controversy, the stigmatism. But like you said, if this was anything, if this was anything else, if this was depicting Jewish people, if this was depicting anything else, I'm not saying that the Black woman is the lowest person, where she needs to be protected. And the fact that he's doing this, and I've heard those arguments too, people saying, well, it's a Black woman who did it. Well, there are Black women who do lots of things, but that doesn't mean that we glorify it. And I did see the bus, and you have kids, you have 6-year-old kids and little kids. How do you explain to them? And they're like, well, it's a woman's body. What are you shaming women's bodies? So there's a time and place for that type of art, but not when you're going down the street, you got your kids in the car looking over and you got all that stuff. So, I'm mad at the situation, but I know the culpability is not just on me. There are executives at the higher level who knew what they were doing when they let that go.
You know who one of the executives is? Jay-Z, because he's managed by Rock Nation. So let's be clear. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of the eyes that looked at this and thought that this was okay, it's baffling. And to your point, Kokalani, I don't want to come outside of IKEA with my 10-year-old son and he's looking like, Mommy, what's that pink part? And I'm just like, on a Sunday afternoon, like, come on. Like you said, there's a time and a place. If he was so in love with it, the artist could have given him his own picture to hang up on his bathroom wall or his living room wall, and he could have snapped a picture, put it on social media. Cool. But the fact that there's buses going downtown where kids can see, and it's just mind blowing.
And someone said, if these were penises on the bus, would that go? Would they have, would they have let that fly if these were men? Men genitalia all over the bus and it was going down. Do you think they would have let that fly, or they would have stopped it? What do you think? I mean, just thinking about that.
Yeah, no one would have ever greenlit that. Roger James said, unfortunately, us Black men in the entertainment industry have no problem disrespecting their own, but they wouldn't think about doing it with non-Black women. And Delphina said it's degrading. Are you okay?
Girl, that's another point. Like, would Meek Mill, and would they put white women or Spanish women or depict them like that? No. And I even saw some disturbing remarks on social media like, oh, Black women love twerking and doing all this on Instagram. okay, we're twerking with our underwear on. You know what I'm saying? Like we're doing things and we're covered up. It's just, for me, it's like, where are we going as a society when this got the green light? It is a very dangerous situation for Black women as a whole. The disrespect has just gone to a whole other level.
I agree. I agree. And it's disheartening. Like I being on a show with a male counterpart, like, a lot of our topics are like this. And I always say that, like, Black women are the least protected. Mm-hmm. And this is just like a reminder, like, I wish there were Black men being as vocal about it as Roger James, one of our listeners, in saying, like, it's just not okay, and until they're saying it, like, protect our Black queens, then it's going to continue to happen. And it's just disheartening, and it's degrading.
And even if, even if let's just say we wanted to go there and say, okay, we want to do this album cover. You know how most of the times they have an edited version and then the unedited version. So it's like, if you download this version, this is a version that you get, but having a different type of colorful version for public display, and you got to pay extra for that, Meek Mill Part 3 CD or Point 2. And they didn't even think like that. Because if they want to have it, I think that's great. But just making that a little extra, not the mainstream promotional item.
Last quick point, because I know we got to move on. If this was such a beautiful piece of artwork, why is every blog site and every picture on social media blurbing out the little parts? If it's so beautiful, why can't we see everything? Why are you putting, fire flames over top? Even in Meek Mill's story, he retweeted somebody tweeting the album cover, and they edited it and put flames on the body part. So I'm just like, what's going on here? If it's so beautiful and it's approved, it's very confusing, and I don't like it. Period. Point blank. Yeah.
So moving along, what do y'all think about so Lala, who we know and love, she has finally spoken for the first time regarding her the situation with Carmelo Anthony, who she was married to for 11 years. She did an interview with Angie Martinez, and it was just really sad. Like, she was just saying how things got really bad, and she, never really spoke on it. She kind of, held her head high, her crown up, and put her shoulders back. And, people always just was like, kind of like, oh, well, she's not speaking on it. Maybe it's not true. But then there were women who were like posting on social media, like, Carmelo Anthony needs to come take care of his kid. And like, I mean, as a woman, right? Like, how embarrassing is that when you're married to a man that you love and you've got a child with, and then there are women like left and right. I believe there might be 3 kids now total. A lady who had twins, and then a lady who had a single child. Yeah. But I don't know. What do y'all think about it? Do you think like it's a situation where it's like, as a woman, she knew her man was cheating, and, like, or do you feel like at the end of the day, like, it's just on Carmelo?
I mean, I'm pretty sure, they've been together since he was a rookie. So I'm pretty sure she knew of certain things. I just think, and she said she was caught blindsided by the kids. It's a difference between, okay, I know my man is sleeping with other women, but when you get sloppy and you're doing it to the point where, I think, remember the pictures came out of him on the yacht?
Yeah.
It was like on her birthday. He was on a yacht. It's like when you start to get messy like that, especially when you have a family and a grown son who can see all of that. At that point, Carmelo was just being selfish at the end of that day. And, none of that's, Lala's fault. But you could see, like you said, she held her head high. She adjusted her crown. She was booked and busy. Let's be clear, because Lala was definitely working. Sis went and got herself a lipo.
And she was a recurring role on Power.
Yes, her and Kim Kardashian was traveling, so she made the hurt look good. Let's be clear. But at the end of that day, it's still embarrassing, especially to go out like that. Like 3 additional kids. Like, come on, Carmelo.
And I think too, like you said, Autumn, I totally agree with that. And I think one of the things that Lala said, she recently said, she said it during the interview as well. The lawyer said, well, didn't you know what you signed up for? Kind of sort of like he was a basketball player. And her thing was, regardless of that, we're in a marriage. And I sort of believe that, no matter what people's hype are and all that stuff, whatever career, when you're in a marriage, you sort of, I mean, at least for me, I'm thinking, regardless of what you do for life, I'm not going to place that generalization on you. So I think when that happened, and I do respect her for not going to the blogs, not, writing things up and putting her life on Front Street. Because when you're cheated on or something, you're violated, you got to deal with that internally, especially if you have a kid, you have family, you have friends. So you don't want to put everything out on Front Street. You want to deal with it internally. So I respect her for taking the time, because you have to understand it probably took her a while to the point where she was even able to talk about it without breaking down and crying, and with still having some type of respect for herself. She's been hosting some of the film festivals I've been at in the past, and she's there and she's proud and she's doing her thing. But you got to understand that burden that she was pulling around, because they weren't automatically divorced, right? They were still going through so much stuff, and he's still disrespecting. So I don't know.
I don't even know, how do you explain that to your child when it's out there like that? How do you say, like, you don't want to, damage the relationship between Carmelo and their son, but then you also want to live your truth and be like, the reason, this isn't working out is because your father, like, that's a very hard line to walk. When it comes to, because you're going through it as, trying to heal and trying to cope with it. Your son is seeing it, and then Carmelo's out here acting ratchet, having children. Now you got siblings, like,
and that's the sad thing about it, because he's gonna want to know his brother and sister, and that's gonna be even more painful for Lala, because they're gonna be like, well, just because the parents mess up don't mean the kids gotta suffer. I've heard that so many times. Let them know her sister, and I just, that's just too painful for me to even imagine.
Yeah, and I personally, and I've never been in this situation, so let me preface it by saying I'm sure it's different when you're in those shoes. But if my husband had a child outside of the marriage, then I would pray that, like, I would hope that I would be able to accept that child in, because at the end of the day, like, it isn't the child's fault, but that takes a lot, baby. Let me tell you something. That is God, okay? Like, literally. But I would hope, because I've heard situations where women did not allow that child in, like, no, we don't want, like, Gabrielle Union said that Dwayne Wade was not allowed to mention his side child, right?
Yeah.
Until she was okay with it. And I'm like, I get it, but you see, you agree. But then my thing is, it's like, he's still got to be a father. And it's like, if you're going to stay with a man knowing he had a child outside of your relationship, then my thing is like, I don't know, like, I kind of feel opposite. I kind of feel like, no, then, like, I mean, that child is a part of that family. That mom don't have to be.
Yeah, and I don't, and like you said, and to Gabrielle's point, like you said, don't talk about it until I'm ready, because she's still going through it. She's still dealing with the fact that, dang, I thought we were happy. Like, dang, what happened? So that's a whole emotional roller coaster in and of itself. And that child is a reminder every single day.
Every single day.
Right, okay. So then why not leave? Then if to me, it's like he has a responsibility to that child, just as he has a responsibility to Gabrielle. So now you're saying, like, choose one or the other. At the end of the day, he made his choice when he got that woman pregnant, and now you're the father of that child. So I don't think personally it's fair to be like, the kid can't be a part of this family until I'm ready. Like, I don't think that's fair either.
I think he can take care of the child, but he doesn't have to bring the child around if she's not ready and they have their own family unit at the house. The side piece can't be dropping the girl off on the weekends, talking about it's your weekend. No, he had to go over there and pay the child support, make sure she all right, make sure she's in school. But that side piece can't be like, well, it's your weekend now. I have her all the time. What? You weren't even, I don't even legitimize it. I can understand Gabrielle saying if she acknowledges it, she needs to legitimize it, and she has to be able to dissect and digest everything that happened emotionally, so she can be that woman that she needs to be when the child comes around. Because you don't want a child to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Autumn, any closing thoughts before we wrap this thing up?
Hey, y'all. Yeah.
What? Time with
you know.
Oh.
I gotta close it out. All right, it's me, Autumn Joy. I don't know.
Okay, that's our producer, Robin. Robin, that was not nice. Okay, so how does Angela do the end? Well, ladies, it's been another great night on Ladies Night. We're gonna close this thing out, give shout outs, and we will see you guys back next Wednesday. Is that how she does it, y'all?
Perfect. Yeah. We'll take it.
Perfect.
All right, Kokalani up first. Go ahead and do your thing, girl. You know what to do.
All right. Hey, what's up? It's me, Kokalani. Don't forget, this Saturday it is going down, our annual coat drive at the shops at Iverson. Come out, bring a coat. There will be no 4 p.m. face-off this weekend, but we will be collecting coats for the children in need around the DMV. So if you have an organization, if you're part of a job, you got a family, go buy a couple coats and drop them off and say hello to the HUR family. Again, that's this Saturday from 12 to 5. And don't forget, you can always follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Kokalani. That's Cokalani.
Oh, Autumn Joy up next.
Hey, great job, Nina Brown. Amazing job. Hey guys, it's me, Autumn Joy Live. Make sure you catch me Monday through Friday, 10 to 3 on your airwaves. I'm giving away tickets to see Proper Utensils. Woo, woo. All my go-go fans out there. And of course, yes, we are still giving out $100 Giant Food gift cards and qualifying you to win $1,000 as well the last weekday of every month. So get ready. I'll be out at that coat drive with Kokalani, and I'm going to come and see Nina Brown, I guess, later, since she kind of invited me to her hotel. But
oh my God, I love you so much, Autumn Joy. Anyways, this is Nina Brown. Angela Stribling, please come back, hurry, because I can't be. This is too much pressure on me, okay? But you can catch me every day on WHUR on the Frank Ski Show with Nina Brown from 3 to 7. And yes, come out to Stan's tomorrow. We're gonna be at 1029 Vermont Avenue Northwest. Shout out to Sherry for putting the address in the comments. We're going to be there at 8:00 tomorrow. Frank Ski is also doing a bourbon tasting here at MGM Grand as well tomorrow at 6 p.m. But then after the bourbon tasting, we're going to go over to Stan's and we're going to have a really good time. So you guys are all welcome to come hang out with us. And yeah, I might even buy y'all a drink. But anyways, thank you for tuning in with us tonight. And don't forget to support the Coat Drive and, of course, Autumn Joy every day at 10 a.m. Thank you. Have a good night, y'all.